Greetings everyone, so Dance Day back at it again with another reaction. We're back with another part of GARO to look at more of the Makai Knights series. Now we're going to keep up this pattern for a bit longer before I start doing my longer videos again. Just been a bit time constrained recently with a bunch of stuff going on in life, obviously. Gotta love it. Anyway, in the meantime, let's get into it and see the next part. I'm loving these details.
2011 brought fans the second TV series in the GARO franchise with Makai Flash Knight, also known as Makai Senki.
Well, that's different.
Taking place after Red Requiem, Koga met a masked magician who curses him with the Seal of Destruction, weakening his fighting abilities. Now a senatorial knight, Koga is tasked with special missions from the Senate, assisted by a Makai priest named Leo, played by Ozuno Nakamura, who appeared in Godzilla -1. Despite the curse causing him immense pain, Koga perseveres and learns
He looked a bit familiar actually, but that makes sense.
that several knights are also marked for death. Throughout the series, the Makai Knights and priests would battle against Sigma, the twin brother of Leo, also played by Ozuno Nakamura, who transforms into Jaku. Sigma made it his mission to bring the Makai Knights to their knees by turning them against each other and causing deep conflict within the order. This led to an explosive final battle between Koga and Sigma, and the culmination of the romance between Koga and Kaoru. But due to an agreement he makes with an entity named Gajari, Koga would have to leave Kaoru once again to go to a place called the Promised Land. Makai Flash Knight was a worthy successor to the legacy of the original GARO series, and this show had an excellent balance of action, horror, and emotional elements. At this point, Koga's story was entering its climax, and there was still more to come. Serving as an epilogue of Makai Flash Knight, 2013's Lament of the Dark Dragon saw Koga go to the Promised Land in order to find the Fang of Lamentation. As soon as Koga arrives at the Promised Land, he loses his coat as well as his sword and Zaruba. While investigating the area, he defeats some soldiers, freeing a blue-skinned girl named Meru, played by Anna Aoi, with Aoi ironically meaning blue in Japanese.
Yeah, I remember
Meru
that.
explains that the Promised Land is filled with spiritual versions of forgotten objects and warns him about Judam, the Queen of Green, who destroys anything beautiful. Koga searches for the Fang of Sorrow, and although Meru can't help, she suggests finding the Guardian of Wisdom. While on their journey, Koga restores a scarecrow-like creature by naming him Kakashi, played by Yuki Kubota, who also played Kamen Rider Zangetsu in Gaim. This character was reminiscent of the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz. He wanted to merge with a dark entity called Maryu, but he needs to use his special skill in order to do this, and it's stolen by the main antagonist of this film, named Judam, played by Keiko Matsuzaka, who also played a side character named Anna in previous GARO projects, and even appeared in episode 31 of Ultra 7.
Let the knighthood begin.
Once Koga arrives at the Temple of Wisdom, he discovers that its guardian is none other than Zaruba himself, who initially doesn't remember Koga, but this would eventually be resolved. Later in the film, with Meru in peril, Koga would recover his sword and equipment and go to battle against Judam. Koga was victorious, and he eventually reunited with Kaoru. This was easily one of the most colorful and fantastical GARO projects ever, at times giving the vibe that Koga is on an acid trip. But the contrast between this and the typically dark and grotesque themes of the franchise led to this film being one of the most unique Toku projects ever.
Sounds like a fun time, all things considered. Dang. Whew. Anyway, that's it for now. But dang, those are some good projects. I mean, technically this would be like what, a triple series with a couple movies to help bridge it. So yeah, there is an order to this. I definitely got to keep in mind the order so I can enjoy the series as a whole. You know, one good streaming happenstance, as it were. But still, for now, you know the pattern. This will be it for me with GARO. For now, I'll be back and probably do a slightly longer one next time. But for now, we're going to be going back to good old Pokemon Coliseum to see how things go with the boss battles. Because we're about to fight, why'd I forget her name? Venus. That was it, Venus. The femme fatale, what's that called? Super fancy girl, I guess. Prissy. There we go. Prissy girl. And I've got something for her to enjoy. Anyway, see you guys next episode. Bye!